What if Mikey Garcia actually beats Errol Spence Jr.? A lot of us haven't really talked about if that happens, what happens for both careers. Let's chop it up. Goodfellas Sports TV back on the boxing grind. Appreciate everybody for tuning into the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon button, and help your boy out. We on the push for 10,000 subs. Almost there, man. Help your boy get there, man. I didn't buy one sub. I'm not the rest of these guys. I'm trying to organically get to 10,000. Then whatever happens past then, it is what it is. You feel me? But I believe as Mikey Garcia beats Errol Spence, a lot changes for him, man. I think he becomes the pay-per-view cash cow. I think, it's different for if Errol wins. Would he become a cash cow? We talked about it later. They have a plan for him. It goes, Mikey and Pacquiao, and then I think he becomes somewhat of a good pay-per-view pool. I think Mikey Garcia instantly becomes a pay-per-view star because it's the David versus Goliath type of thing. Roberto Duran moving up, beating Sugar Ray Leonard. I think Mikey Garcia name gonna catch like wildfire if he beats Errol Spence. People gonna act like it's the greatest upset in history, and some people opinions in their lifetime it is. All right, people don't remember how big an underdog Muhammad Ali was versus Sonny Liston or George Foreman after losing a few years. Sitting out of the boxing game. People don't know that. People ain't really historians. There's very few boxing historians walking around these days. All right, that know the history of boxing and the present of boxing. A lot of the old boxing fans, they don't mess with this generation of boxing because it's not boxing no more. You know what I'm saying? They moved it from regular television to premium television to pay-per-view, now to apps, and it turned off a lot of fans. The best ain't fighting the best. And they don't get to know and build them relationships like you build them on regular TV with the older fighters. You know what I'm saying? With Sugar Ray Leonard, the Olympics, then fighting on NBC. You seen his career, unfold. These fighters, you like, where he come from? You know what I'm saying? But back on topic, I think Mikey Garcia beats Errol Spence, makes a huge pay-per-view clash with Manny Pacquiao. And, after that, I don't even think he looks back to go down to 135 to fight Lomachenko. I think he goes back to fight Lomachenko if he loses to Errol, I think he goes back to fighting Lomachenko. But I'm talking about if Mikey wins, and I think it goes Pacquiao. If he could defeat Errol and Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia is the star. Showtime was looking for the next Mayweather, the next guy they can use. And I think, he going to milk it. He ain't going to sit there and take Keith Thurman and Sean Porter next. After he got two tough fights with Errol and Pacquiao, he possibly can milk it and get a Ugis or Danny Garcia, Mexican versus Puerto Rican rivalry. So he'd be sitting in the best position in boxing, bar none. Only guy that's in a better position than him is Canelo Alvarez. But his position can become just almost as lucrative as Canelo Alvarez, because here's the twist right here. For Mikey Garcia, the twist is this. What if he beat Errol Spence and Pacquiao and putting himself in a position to get a Floyd Mayweather fight and rack in $100 million? First Pacquiao, he probably gonna make good money. Then he fight Floyd Mayweather, after fighting Danny Garcia, and he fight Mayweather like Cinco de Mayo 20, or Mexican Independence Day 2020. I mean, Mikey Garcia ain't no fool. It's the risk versus Errol Spence is worth the reward. The risk is high. You can never probably, fight again. Or I think he might retire because the beating might be so bad versus Errol Spence. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? But, the reward is just as high as the risk. You know what I'm saying? Because you go on to fight Errol, then you go fight Pacquiao later this year. You can beat Pacquiao. Now you a star. You fight Danny Garcia. You another star, Mexican, Puerto Rican rivalry. You another star. Then you get a Mayweather fight. Shit, he could retire after fighting Mayweather, win, lose, or draw. He talk about he think he could beat Mayweather at this point in his career. And then don't forget, the Terrence Crawford fight still out there for him. You know what I'm saying? As well as Keith Thurman, Sean Porter still out there for him. He the cash cow. And he should make Keith Thurman and Sean Porter wait. They'll be calling him out like a mug. I'll be calling him out like, come on, Mike, you ducking me. You ducking me. See, Mikey not going to get that boogeyman persona Errol had. People just gonna say Errol was underrated or overrated, and they're gonna say Mikey Garcia is still too small and stuff of that nature. And don't forget, you also got the potential World Boxing Super Series tournament winner moving up, Regis Progress, Josh Taylor. You got Jared Ennis, Josh Kelly. I mean, he would have so many opponents at his disposal without even having to unify the division. he was just be in the Mayweather position after all, if all that hypothetically happened. He could be in a position to fight Mayweather, then retire. Or just off the Errol Pacquiao Danny fight, he could sit there and just, grant guys fights the way he want to. What's the point of me, being undisputed? Real talk. What's the point of him saying I'm undisputed? I already got the money. I got the respect. You know what I'm saying? I beat the boogeyman. I got the money. I got the respect. If I want to close it out versus Floyd Mayweather, or close it out versus Terrence Crawford, or close it out versus Keith Thurman or Sean Porter, I can do that. But, you can't tell me that I ducked anything. You can't ridicule my career no more. You can't say Mikey the cherry picker. Like, I went there and beat the boogeyman. Then I beat Pacquiao. Then I beat Danny Garcia. I made a ton of money. I became a Mexican star. I did it all. And if I get a Floyd Mayweather fight, win, lose, or draw versus Mayweather, and I make, 8 figures, 9 figures fighting Mayweather, shit, I'm out. I did what I do in the sport of boxing. Undisputed don't mean nothing to me. I did it. So, can't nobody ridicule my career. You can say I dug Gamboa. You can say I dug Lomachenko. I moved up 2 weight classes, or weight class, depending on how you look at it, and dominated the welterweight division. I beat the boogeyman. Then I beat the legend Manny Pacquiao. Then I won a Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry that was bigger than my fight with Rocky Martinez and Lomachenko Martinez. And Lomachenko Pedraza would be bigger than that. Man, I'm out of here. If Mayweather want to scrap, that's all I'm coming back for. I'm out of here. Y'all can say I ducked Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I beat Errol Spence. Well, none of them was not trying to fight Errol Spence. And if Errol loses, I think it's catastrophic. I think he going to be the most sought out person to fight. Guys are going to be willing to fight Errol still. Now if he get robbed or something, he knocked Mikey Garcia out and they give Mikey a 50 count where they take Mikey to the back on the stretcher and bring him back and let him continue, or just a nasty a nasty robbery. You know what I'm saying? I think people still be reluctant to fight him. But I say if he go 12, Errol deserve to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing by that. But if he legitimately loses, I don't think he's going to be the same fighter. I think mentally, it's over with. No matter if Mikey Garcia go on to rip off those wins and beat Pacquiao and beat Mayweather, beat Danny Garcia, and let's say he beat Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, Keith Thurman, and unify the division. If he go on to be something special, people could understand, but damn, yeah, Mikey Garcia was special, bro. Errol Spence just ran into, one of those unicorns in boxing. He just ran into the, Mexican Manny Pacquiao or something like that. But you won't know that for years until that unfold. So right at that point, you just got, stripped in front of your fans and beat up in front of your fans. And you lost to a guy who's moving up, who was a 126 pounder. And he came up and he said he seen something and he dismantled you and beat you in front of your fans. I don't think too many fighters can really jump over that mental hurdle. Sugar Ray Leonard did it with Roberto Duran. He hopped right back in there. He didn't sit out for a year or two like these fighters do. These fighters that lose to Mayweather or lose a fight, and these dudes that sit out a year or two, you won't see them for a year or 2 years. They won't do an interview. They won't do nothing. Then they come back, gotta lose 50, 60, 70 pounds sometimes to make weight. They do a tune-up. Then they don't look the same fighter. Then people ridiculing them. And then it take them 3 or 4 more fights to get into another big fight. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't do that. He jumped right back in there, 8 months later, excuse me if I'm wrong, and fought Roberto Duran and got it in and avenged his loss and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? And I think if Mikey somehow does beat Errol Spence, I believe that Errol Spence might just do this new generation route to go sit out, enjoy his money, and just pout about it and possibly move up, But I don't think guys are really not gonna fight him. Then he had to move to a new weight class because he's back to ground zero. He brings nothing to the table, and most people might still look at him as food, So then he might get fights, but I just think he gonna take a year off. You won't see him for a year. Shit, you might not see him again, depending on his mental state. Or he might just be like, I got robbed. I want a rematch, or I was sick, or whatever the situation may be. Maybe he just might be mentally strong, but I think the aura of the boogeyman, I think, all that boogeyman glow and all that I'm a power puncher glow will be gone. You know what I'm saying? That it'll be one of the most deflating losses in boxing, man, because this is a guy who couldn't get fights, you know, and now all of a sudden you lose to Mikey, and you know you're gonna be saying as one of the most overrated boxers in the history of the sport. That's tough juice. You know what I'm saying? It's real tough juice. But you know, I just think if he lose to Mikey, you know, and it's a legit loss, I don't think he's gonna be the same fighter. I wouldn't expect him to recapture a title neither. Even in a boxing world full of thousands and thousands of titles, I wouldn't expect him to see him again for a while. You know, I really wouldn't. I really think he had to build himself back up. I don't think Sean would still give him an opportunity. I don't think Keith would give him an opportunity. I don't even think Crawford would look at him. Everybody be looking at Mikey. You know, he had to build himself back up, be a mandatory, or try to get an immediate rematch with Mikey. And I don't even think Mikey's probably going to give him an immediate rematch if it's a clear victory. So, you know, I think it's pretty much it'll be over for Errol at 147. I think he will move up and try to go move up. And people will see the blueprint, how they beat him. And people will follow that blueprint. And the next person to build on that blueprint. And, you know, it'll be, like I said, a loss for Errol here will be way more devastating than a loss for, than Mikey Garcia, as we just chopped it up about. So I don't see it happening, but, you know, you got to talk about it because it can happen. You know, this is the hurt business. One punch can change it. And if Mikey come in there and beat him, it's going to be up there with the Ali Foreman, Sonny Ali over Sonny Liston. It's going to be in there with Joe Frazier beating up on Muhammad Ali. It's going to be up there with Duran beating Sugar Ray Leonard in the first fight. It's going to be up there. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be up there with Pacquiao Barrera, Pacquiao Morales. You know, it's going to be up there. You know, Ricky Hatton beating up Costa Tszyu beating up Zab Judah. You know, the list goes on and on. Jermaine Taylor beating B-Hop twice. You know, Joe Kawasaki beating up on B-Hop. So, Antonio Tarver knocking out Roy Jones. I mean, you can go on and on about the upsets in the sport of boxing. And I think most people in this generation not knowing about the history of boxing that deep, they're going to say this was the greatest upset in boxing history. I would just call it the greatest upset of this era. But it definitely would be catastrophic, man. It'll be catastrophic, dog. There'll be a lot of channels shut down, a lot of crying and slow singing and flower bringing. And a lot of people will be distraught. And like I said before in another video earlier, today or yesterday, I said I stopped. How can I say this? I stopped the process of me not giving the fighter a chance. I remember when I seen Miguel Cotto fight Martinez, and I didn't think he had a chance. I didn't know Martinez's knee was that bad until he showed up to one of the media workouts with a sleeve on his knee. Then they didn't let him wear the sleeve fight night. And he got beat up real bad. It was hard for me to watch. Martinez, one of my favorite fighters in this generation, and overall, he got beat up real bad. And you know, so that night I didn't see no way Cotto could beat him. I thought he still was prime Martinez. And since that fight, I always give fighters a chance, you know. And like I said, I give Mikey a 20 or 30% chance to beat Errol Spence. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just doing it off his ability, his skill, his sparring that he had, and I know that he probably does see something he think he can exploit. But hey, let me know what y'all think. Goodfellas Sports TV. We on Facebook and Twitter. Also email. Want to make a donation? That link's in the description as well. All those links there. Our Facebook group. Also the link where we get our intro instrumental from. Check it out. Goodfellas Sports TV. Your boy CJ Goodfella. Definitely appreciate it. Share the video. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon button. We'll miss another video live stream from your boy. We're going to continue to put that work in, man. On the race for 10,000 subs. We ain't bought one sub. Trying to get to 10,000 subs organically. Continue to help us out. Share the video.